Okay, this unit is definitely the most experimental of the four. It's called a motion sensor. So the idea is you put it on a CV type signal, and when it detects a motion, it can either output a constant gate, or it can output a trigger, or it can potentially turn a toggle on and off. Again, here we've just got a really basic sequence coming out. Actually, this time it's the same note. If you want to take a listen. Pretty simple. Going into ladder low pass filter, and what I want to do is do some modulation again on the fundamental frequency F0. So I've got this hooked up to an offset here on the maths. So we're just going up kind of plus and minus 5 volts here. But what I actually want to do is I want to put this into a recorder, and I just want to have it kind of record different things, but only when I move the knob. So that'll be the test application here. So I'm going to insert a looper, a dub looper, and we'll just create a new buffer here. And I don't know, let's just make this, let's do a 4-second buffer. And we'll go ahead and engage it. And let's see, let's set the dub's already at 1. Let's also set the wet at 1. And I don't know, maybe we'll bring up the crossfade just a little bit. So I think that's good. So what I want to do is I want to control this punch control by using the motion sensor. I want it to only engage the punch when I'm moving this knob on the maths. So I'm going to come in here into, one more thing I want to do here before I leave here. I'm going to use a gate kind of control, so I want to turn this punch latch off, because the gate should hopefully stay on when I'm wiggling the control. Okay, so let's come in here into the punch control, and we will insert the motion sensor. Let's see here. So we're going to have to put our input here, and our input, the input goes on the front of this one. So our input is going to be the exact same control signal that my knob is hooked up to, which in my case is, let's just make sure here, A3. Yep, A3. So that's what should trigger the motion sensor to go off. So just kind of watch and see if it works here. So I want to take this knob 3, and as I kind of wiggle it around, the input goes on, and when I stop moving it, it goes off. So what that should be doing is engaging the punch control. So let's go take a look at that, and you can see it actually kind of recorded my wiggles there, right? This should be, the output of this should be controlling the frequency, and it looks like it already is. We've already got some gain set up on here. So let's turn the volume on and just kind of watch here so we can hear it. So I'll start the sequence again. So it just kind of records my wiggles, and they get played back, and if I stop grabbing the knob, then it stops recording. So it's a little bit hard, I guess, to kind of record a flat line here, right? Like if I wiggle this just enough, to where it kind of keeps the punch engaged, it could work. But it's kind of a current challenge, I guess, with this particular application. So maybe you guys have some ideas there. Stop the sequence again. Just explain a couple of the controls really quickly here. So let's see here. You've got a sensitivity control. So this basically controls the how quickly you have to move the knob and how far to get it to engage. Let me turn the sensitivity down here, way down, and I'll just wiggle this knob. And you can see if I turn it slowly here, it's not really picking up anything, right? But if I give it a big quick turn, it does, kind of pick up. So if I roll this sensitivity way up, bring it all the way up to 100, then it should take a much smaller turn of the knob to get it to engage. These attack and release parameters are here. Let me just kind of show you actually the release. So the attack, I don't know if you really need to change that. I might be able to take that control out. But let's just take a look at the release and what happens here if you turn this down. So, right now I'm kind of turning this knob. I get a nice steady on gate. If I take this release, I take it, Let me take it all the way down. You can kind of see what you get. So you get a lot of choppy gates there, right? So this is just kind of enveloping, the signal internally within the unit. It doesn't actually affect, in this case, what we were recording because that's the direct input. But it's, this envelope around here is an attempt to kind of minimize the staggering of the gates. And then finally, we've got our mode over here. So right now it's in gate mode. Did I turn this control back up? No. Put that back up to about where it was. So right now it's in gate mode, so you can see when I turn this knob, if I keep turning it, it just kind of stays on. Other modes available are toggle. So if I use this one, if I turn it a little bit, it should kind of lock on. And I turn it again, it should kind of lock off. Turn it again, lock on. And then we have the trigger control. So I think this is just going to, I don't even think you can see it flashing there on the input, but maybe if we, take a look at the larger scope, we'll see it, or the output of the unit itself. You can't even really see them on there. But it should be firing out some triggers there, some very fine ones. I think that's about it for this one. Let me know what you think, or if you have any ideas to improve this one. This one is pretty experimental at this point.